Welcome to episode 36 of the Rebel Army podcast, the official podcast of Cork City Football Club. And we start off the year with player of last year, Charlie Lyons. Yeah, back for another year. I suppose you could say it's like a second season, but I'm joined as always by Mr. Aaron Howie. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Stephen. Happy New Year to everyone listening as well.
Still alright to say that at this stage.
We get away with it. It's our first interaction on the podcast since, so we'll get away with it. But yeah, it's great to be back.
It's great to be back, and we're getting very close now to it all kicking off.
See, I said this a bit before Christmas on an episode here. It's a really long off season, but at the same time, it creeps up on you, and all of a sudden, it's right around the corner.
Yeah, I'm like, what? I think 4 weeks away or something like that.
Yeah, well, we're 24 hours away from our first football because we're recording this on Thursday.
Yeah.
And we've got our first pre-season friendly this time tomorrow.
Yeah, it's an unusual time, but I'd imagine that's for the away teams as much as it is for ourselves.
Yeah, just to have everyone home at a reasonable hour for a pre-season friendly. This isn't a 7:45 job like you typically see from us. But
this is not to make a few bob. Like, this is just
this is a training session
minutes.
Essentially. Like so we've got Bohemians tomorrow, and we've got Treaty United on Saturday, which is up in Mayfield.
So fans can go to those if they want.
Yeah,
can they?
They are open. Yeah. There's just one thing with Bishopstown. Obviously, the car park now is being used as a park and ride type thing for HSE as well. So the car park won't be open to the public tomorrow. So there's parking. Look, you know yourself, kind of around the area. There's the street parking and stuff like that. But
get the bus.
You can get the bus out as well. The 208 will drop you up by Red FM. But we're just kind of asking people to not park in the car park and to make sure there's enough room on the road so that the people who are using the car park, the buses and stuff, can get up and down with ease.
Or park in Corrine somewhere, and if there's space.
Yeah, there's parking around.
No, the college isn't on this week, so there might be a few extra spots.
There might be a few extra,
so that you could walk down the hill.
But as you said, get the bus to 208 to bring you out as far as Red FM. It's literally a 5-minute walk.
That is, it's grand for anyone that's been out this way before. Like, most of the people that are going to go to that match know this.
I think people will walk a long distance to get there just to see some football at this point, because as we said, it's been so long, and to have any bit of football to look forward to is great.
So Treaty then in Mayfield, again, tight enough for parking and stuff up that way as well.
It is, yeah, and I know Mayfield have a car park as well. I'm not sure yet how that will work, because I don't know if Mayfield United have their own teams on up there as well. So again, if you are going to that one, just park respectfully. Don't be blocking people's drives, or don't be blocking other people in. Yeah.
Since we last spoke, a lot of moving and shaking at the club.
It's been a lot, yeah.
I suppose first up, a lot of new coaches. We spoke about, I suppose a bit of a shake up in the women's team. New manager.
Yeah, so I suppose on the women's side, first of all, we announced a few weeks back that Barry Ryan was coming in as the under-19s manager.
Yeah.
Shortly after that, we announced that Derek Collin, who we obviously had on the pod last year as well, he is in as under-17s manager, and that's part of a wider, a broader sort of partnership in terms of development of young players on the women's side of things. And then the big one, obviously the women's first team, Frank Kelleher is back. So Frank obviously won the FAI Cup in 2017 on that incredible day that we were all in the Aviva having the time of our lives. Yeah. And Frank is back. He was involved with the men's first team in 2019 as well.
That's right.
He was away, he was involved with Avondale and stuff like that as well, but he's back as the women's first team manager, which is brilliant.
No doubt.
Great reaction.
At some stage.
Yeah, 100%. We'll get Frank in. We'll try and get Barry and Derek back in as well to talk about their seasons and their teams and the build up to what's to come. But we'll definitely get Frank in over the next couple of weeks, and we'll hopefully have movement on the women's squad as well, having some players signed up and
their
new players coming in maybe.
A bit later, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a couple of weeks afterwards, so I think it's the 8th of March.
Yeah.
Peamount away is the first game, which is a tough start, but we'll see what happens.
The men's academy has a couple of new faces in as well. Well, a couple of old new faces.
Couple of returning faces, yeah. So we have the big article up there. The entire coaching staff has been confirmed from under 14s right up to the under 20s. So obviously people would have seen that Darren Murphy is back. Yeah. He is now our men's under 20s manager.
Great midfielder for us back in the day as well.
Brilliant midfielder, yeah. And Colin Birmingham's continuing as the men's under 17s manager. Dan Murray is in as the men's 15s manager. Yeah. With Greg O'Halloran coaching with him. So two other former
players.
City players, City legends.
Yeah.
And then Lee Moore is still in charge of our under 14s. So Lee was in charge of the 14s as well last year. And Yeah, that's the 4 teams there. Obviously, Liam Carney's head of academy. We've had him in. Another club legend. There's a lot of ex-players involved in the men's academy side of things, which is good. That's what you want to see. It's, the city DNA.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they're all kicking off in a couple of weeks' time as well. Putting squads together and all that. So we're nearly back to normality.
In terms of the playing staff, a new face just in this week.
We did.
From
We
Sheffield
had
Wednesday.
Yeah, we had another Aloni arrive this week. Rio Shipston. I actually spoke to him in Bishopstown on Monday. Was it Monday we announced him? So we hear what he had to say.
Rio, first of all, welcome to Cork City. How does it feel to finally be announced as a Cork City player?
Yeah, happy to be here. Can't wait to get going now. Got a session this morning and getting ready to play.
It's been in the works for a while, even in discussions with Tim and with the club for a while. So just getting it done, getting over here and getting going, as you're saying, it must be like, you're excited now for the season.
Yeah, it took a long while, but I'm happy to get it done and finally be in the training.
For City players who wouldn't know a lot about you, what's your experience been? What kind of player are you and what can we expect to see at Turner's Cross?
More of a box-to-box midfielder. Like getting into the box, defending, a bit of everything really.
And before you come over, what was your knowledge of the League of Ireland, or did you have any? Did you know much about the club?
Yeah, I knew a bit about it, and obviously now a couple of teams in this league. But yeah, it's a good league, good standard, it's a good fan base.
You just can't wait to get on the pitch now, good way to get going with the lads.
Yeah, no, it's going to be. We've got a couple of families, but it's a big one on the 14th.
Yeah, look, it looks like this was in the making for a bit.
Yeah, it's one of those ones that was kind of in the pipeline, but obviously things need to be signed and agreed and all that. So you can nearly tell there he was very happy to actually be here and to have it done.
Yeah.
He arrived, I think, on Sunday, straight into training on Monday. And
he's taking a big number at the club as well.
Number 4, yeah. There's a bit of discussion online. Is that a defender's number or a midfielder's number?
It can go both ways, can't it?
It depends, yeah. It depends. But it's exciting. And he's obviously the latest addition. We've had 2 new goalkeepers, a new left back, Benny Couto. There's new faces. There's more to come. And we'll see some of them in action tomorrow and Saturday, as we said. So
when does the transfer window close for us?
I think it's the end of January, is it?
Is it? So
is it? I could be wrong.
Start of the season.
I think maybe it's the start of the season, but I think the UK window. Like obviously with a lot of loans and
stuff. They can't come to us after that. And
exactly.
Out of contract.
I'm not 100% sure how that works actually, but either way, our season kicks off. What is it? 2 weeks after Valentine's Day. So you'd expect not just with ourselves, but a lot of clubs there will be movement with. Especially with that UK market over the next.
And I see Harvey signed his first professional
contract.
Yeah,
brilliant.
Well.
That was another good one. Yeah, he kind of featured a little bit last year. He wasn't heavily involved, but he definitely made a couple of appearances, and he was the men's under-20s player of the year as well, which is good. Brilliant. So that's the kind of player you obviously want to tie down and keep at the club, and
brings a lot of energy when he comes on. As a lot
exactly.
Of
yeah, he's an exciting player.
Yeah.
So
fans always love those type of players that are just kind of fast and look like they want to get about it straight away. Like
when they get the ball and just take off on a sprint, exactly. Get people out of their seats, sort of thing, get them excited, which is great. So we'll see what happens now over the next couple of weeks. Is obviously what I think it's just under a month to kick off. Today's the 16th, so bit of time yet.
So there could be another few faces because I'm sure. Well, you're probably sick of it, but that's all I ever see online is when there's new sign. So I'm sure people will have. People are always looking,
and people are always saying to me, and I don't know. I find out shortly before everyone else finds out.
Listen, everyone was surprised last summer when the 2 boys signed in the space of a week or something. So
and those ones I did know about, to be fair. So I was on holiday as well. That was all being done, so it was easier for people not to be annoying me. Do you know what I mean? But we're getting there, and we'll see now where we are after this weekend. Obviously, again, it's pre-season friendlies. The results don't matter, even if we beat someone 5 or 6-0, it doesn't matter.
They're just getting minutes in, really. Like,
exactly, yeah. And getting players, it's all well and good, running around on a training pitch or being in the gym, but getting them back in matches.
There's no injuries at the moment or anything like that, is there?
I'm not 100% sure, to be honest. I haven't been around training a whole lot.
Yeah.
And we haven't caught up with Tim on that yet, but I don't know. We'll find out, I suppose, when we line the teams out tomorrow and Saturday.
Pictures. Who's taking all the pictures?
Doug, yeah. We've Doug up there, yeah. And we'll have a couple of photographers in Bishopstown and Mayfield over the weekend as well, so content is back, which is there's a bit of a dry spell in the winter and the Christmas.
Is it me or the League of Ireland featuring our players an awful lot? They are players to watch.
I said this day one. the only people more excited about Cork City being back in the Premier Division than Cork City fans are the League of Ireland.
I thought it was the algorithm or something.
No. There's a lot of Cork City on the League of Ireland pages. And funnily enough, I slag him a lot for this. The guy who runs the main League of Ireland Twitter is a Shells fan. So sometimes we call it the League of Shelburne Twitter. But there's a lot of Cork City, so I'm not going to make any comments on it. But yeah, they're kind
of a big deal.
They're very happy that we're back. Yeah.
Yeah, and speaking of back, our centre back, we might have, I suppose, one has parted ways, but the other is still here. Charlie, breakthrough season, player of the year. We were trying to get him for weeks on the podcast.
Yeah,
but
we tried to catch him before Christmas, and then he went away for Christmas, and he's finally back. And we got him in, as you said, player of the year twice last year, league and the club player of the year.
Unbelievable season. So.
Oh, he did, yeah. And he's as you said, a centre back, but chipped in with his fair share of goals as well. So,
well, I know he's in reception, so we'll
get him in.
Welcome to the podcast, Charlie.
Thanks for having me. No, my pleasure.
How's life back at training?
Good to get back into it. Look, it's a long off season. Especially I suppose with the League One wrapped up really in September, so we were probably just preparing ourselves really for January. But delighted to be back now, back into the swing of things, and I suppose the first game's not so far away now.
And you are about 3 or 4 weeks at this stage.
What is it, sorry?
It's about 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah, look, it's coming around quick. We have a first game now tomorrow against Bows and Treaty on Saturday, so look, we're all delighted to be back and can't wait to get going.
New faces in the dressing room?
Yeah, nice lads now, to be fair. Look, there was probably a bit of a transition between the squad last year, so getting familiar faces now with them, and I suppose, look, we're trying to bleed them into the squad, and look, they're nice lads, so I think they'll get on grand. Last
season was a phenomenal season for yourself. Obviously the player of the year for the club, but also PFAI First Division player of the year. You know, how do you feel about the whole, I suppose it was your first year at the club, but like a massive breakthrough season for you with City, like?
Yeah, unreal, I suppose. I suppose probably at the start of the year it wasn't something I would have set out, like goals and stuff. But I think, look, it's probably something I look back in a few years, you know, and how enjoyable the season was. Looks probably the last 12 months probably been the best 12 months of my career, you know, and look, long may it continue.
And that career, like going back, that would have started with Innishvilla down in the Shannon way, was it?
It was, yeah. I'd say since under fives, that was, I suppose, look, Innishannon's probably known more for its GAA and stuff like that, which, look, I was highly involved in, and Innishvilla were fantastic to me. I was with them all the way up, and probably had a few clubs knocking in the city to go in them, but never had any interest.
You were never tempted, no?
No interest. Look, it
because Conor Horan would have gone to a couple of clubs back in the day, like he would have gone from Bandon, but went up to the city and...
No, look, I suppose, I was just playing with my buddies. It was enjoyable days, a lot of good memories, and I suppose it was handy we had a decent team as well. So, but we were all... Look, we all got on, and we were all in school together, so it didn't ever tempt me to leave, no.
And did you break through to the Cork Schoolboys League team or anything like that at the time?
Yeah, I was in with, I think it was under 13s. We actually won the All Ireland under 13s, and then it was Kennedy Cup and stuff, so that kept me going really. But I suppose, look, I'm probably from a big GAA background as well, so I would have been on Cork hurling and football teams all the way up as well, and probably that was the route I was probably going with. It was my last game with Cork School. I was actually under 16. I think we were playing Waterford, a good Waterford team actually, in the All Ireland semi-final, and that was me done whenever we lost. But then Preston were actually at the game that day, and then I never really looked back once I went over there, to be fair.
So that was before the whole Brexit thing came in. They were still able to grab fellas in there, 16, 17, all of that back then. So obviously the current lads, there's no more of that. Like you have to go to Europe or somewhere like that. But like, what was it like going over at 16?
So I just finished my junior cert, and I went over for a week. And look, in my own head, I was thinking, look, I want to be in with the Cork minors, footballers and hurlers if I could. Like, that was the route I had always kind of set myself on. But I think I went over for a week, and they said that they would sign me on a 2-year deal, and I was just... It opened up, like, I suppose, professional sport, really. I was over for the week, and I think we played Everton away just in the trial game or whatever, and I was just thinking, this is a totally different world. Like, So yeah, as I said, I never really looked back and moved over. And yeah, 16's young. I know the fellas now, like the younger lads that are probably moving over at 18, probably more mature and stuff. But look, it suited me to go over, and I loved it. My time over there obviously didn't work out the way I wanted it, but
did you stay in the digs then or something, or did they put you with a family, or how did it work?
Yeah, there was, when I first moved in, there was, I think, 12 of us living in a big house, and there was a couple that were employed by the club to live with us and cook all the meals and everything, so we got the royal treatment, alright. But yeah, it was, look, you'd 12, 16 to 18 year olds living in a house. It was madness. Yeah.
Was there many Irish lads?
There was, when I first moved over, you had a lot in the first team, Alan Brown, Greg Cunningham now, but as it was, you had Adam O'Reilly then came over, so I was living with him, Jimmy Corcoran, Brian McManus there, who was at Bows and Shells. So look, like at the weekends, you'd have a clear out, all the lads would go home, and then you'd have only the Irish fellas living there. So it was nice to have fellas there now, to be fair. We used to have a bit of crack now, to be fair. Probably not suitable for the pod here, but good times.
Out and about in Preston, or did you go into Manchester or what?
We went a bit everywhere, yeah.
But probably a great experience too, like the whole, I suppose, getting away from home, building up, as you said, professional sport and stuff like that. But did you have any regrets of walking away from the GAA at the same time?
Looking back on it now, probably not, to be honest. I think, look, I had an opportunity to go, and I was thinking, look, the GAA is probably always going to be there for me, but look, the decision probably hasn't turned out too bad now, but look, there'll probably be a time down the line where I'll go back to it, but it was just an opportunity I probably couldn't take down or turn down at 16. So no regrets.
Is it kind of cutthroat then? So like when your 2-year contract comes to an end, do they pull you all to the side and say, look, we're going to offer a new contract, or we're going to let you go? How does that work?
Yeah, it is cutthroat. At the end of my 2 years, I actually got an extension of 6 months, because I was in my second year. I was out for nearly 10 months, 11 months. Yeah. But yeah, it's like there was fellas at the club who have been there since they were 9 years of age, and they just get told one day, that's it, you're done. And so it is tough, I suppose, for them. Some of them are not even playing anymore, and that's all they've known all their life. But it was, I suppose, I kind of knew towards the end of it, after that 6 months extension, I kind of knew anyway. So I kind of prepared myself for the news. But Preston had no under 23s, so it's just like you're either going into you're ready to play in the championship or you're not. Yeah. Which at the time, like, I was only 18, I think. Yeah. Which I knew myself, I'm not up to physically, I wasn't ready to jump in centre half playing the championship. It's
tough as a centre back to be going in that young as well, isn't it?
So I kind of knew myself. And look, I could have went around trialling and stuff, but I think at the time it was just the right decision. Come home and just get some senior experience, which I needed, I think. So, but as I said, look, I probably built that up. I think, as you said, centre half, I think you need to have a bit of experience to make your mistakes, and when you're younger, and then try to master the trade. But yeah, I don't think it's turned out too bad, no.
And like we attempted to pack it in.
No, I always kind of thought that I could get back to the level where I knew, I always backed myself that I could get to a certain level. But there was times in my second year, I was flying in my first year. I was up with the first team nearly twice a week there for 6 months before the summer, and then we went home there. We'd nearly 6 weeks off, I think, and Simon Grayson was the manager at the time, and look, he was mad about me, and I was thinking, right, I'm probably nailed on here now to sign a new deal or whatever, or coming back. So he ended up going to Sunderland then in the summer. So a new manager came in, and so it was kind of back to square one. But I was in with them for pre-season for a good bit of it, and then the last game for pre-season, I did my shoulder and I had surgery 3 or 4 days later. So I was out for 4 months, I think, just back before Christmas, and then I ended up doing my meniscus, and we needed second training session back, I think. So I was out for 6 months again. So I'd kind of knew myself, like, he'd brought in his own players, and my time was, I'd missed out on 10 months there with a new manager. So I kind of knew at the time that, look, I'm not in his pecking order, like, so. But look, I think there were stages of that where I was thinking, is this worth the now being away from home and stuff?
And do you stay over there, or do you come back home then in those scenarios?
To be fair, they were good to me. I'd come home whenever I wanted, really, for a weekend or so, but I stayed over there for all the rehab. But look, you're going away with the physio and the boys are training, and you think how much you're missing out on, playing every week and trying to impress, being on the shop window, which was tough to deal with at the time. But I think it makes me more resilient now, and setbacks and stuff, I can deal with them because I've been through it at that age,
So when you came back here then, did you have to go look for a club, or were Cove aware that you were kind of on the way back, or how did that kind of come about?
Well, I actually was training with City at the time. John Coffey was the manager, so I was actually I did pre-season with City, but they were stacked at the time, centre halves and stuff, and I was thinking, they're not going to be playing me as an 18-year-old, so I kind of was training with them in the mornings, and then training with Cove then in the evening. I signed for Cove, so I was just I'll hopefully play games. So I kind of had the best of both worlds, really. So I was still technically full-time. But yeah, look, I needed that, in fairness. Cove gave me that. Stephen Henderson was the manager when I first went in, and he was playing me every week. I had no experience really playing senior football, but I think it was definitely what I needed, and it was probably the right decision at the time.
You're probably playing with a couple of the lads that you were playing with last season as well, were you?
Out of that team now, I'd say there's not many of them still playing. Dave Hurley was there, who's at Galway. I played with him at Galway as well. But no, I'd say out of that team now, I don't think there's many of them still with Cove.
Cove is a bit of I suppose over the years it has been a bit of a transition club for people too, hasn't it? They kind of come in for a season or two and they go away again. Fellas from the Munster Senior League.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of turnover, to be fair. But I suppose it was 2022 when Shane Keegan came in, that was probably my most enjoyable year at Cove. He put a decent squad together, and we were probably unlucky in the playoff against Waterford. But yeah, look, as you can see, they're definitely growing and doing it right down there now this year. They have a decent squad and stuff. But yeah, look, it was really an experience for me. I suppose I wanted to get higher as I could.
And John brought you up to Galway for a year as well.
He did, yeah. That was in between. So I did 3 years at Cove. Then I went to Galway, and then came back to Cove, and then obviously signed with City. But I think I've over 130 games or something with Cove. But look, I think it's made me to get better and better, as the years went on. But I think definitely Shane probably, I suppose, reignited my career really, because that was probably one of the most enjoyable seasons I've had as well. And I just kind of...
And he's renowned as a good coach.
He is. He's a GAA man as well, so we got on very well.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's outstanding, in fairness to him. And I think he's itching to get back in as well, because I think he got promoted with Laois GAA, so I think he couldn't commit to the both of them. But yeah, I have no doubt he'll be back in the League of Ireland soon enough.
There's a lot of media stuff as well, doesn't he? Loose talk and all that kind of stuff.
I see him on Twitter every day. I get sick of hearing his voice.
I'm sure he's probably told a few stories about you.
No, he'd be sacked.
So how did the City move come about then? Did you get an approach by Tim?
I was kind of talking in the off-season with Richie, and I think he just kind of sold it to me, to be fair. It was obviously kind of a project, getting the club back up to the Premier Division and stuff. So, look, it didn't have to really sell much to me, to be honest. It's a massive club, and I was just more interested in getting in and try getting the starting 11 and stuff. And obviously, we had the 12 months to remember, but it was a no-brainer for me, and I wanted to get back into full-time football as well. So, yeah. I was delighted I got the offer and was delighted to sign.
And yourself and Cian, along with Brad, but I had a really strong relationship there, and the amount of clean sheets you had were phenomenal during the season.
Yeah, I think that was we set out to start here. You need to build from the back, really. That was the foundation. Yeah. But yeah, I think myself and Cian kind of complement each other. And it was just, I think, came natural to us. But as you said, I think the clean sheets I don't know how many was, 21, 20.
Something like that, it was on a record at one stage. Yeah.
But yeah, I think, I knew we were going to win games once we were keeping clean sheets and stuff. But I think at the start, look, every game was going to be a banana skin for us. Like, you win and nothing said, but if you lose, you're the worst in the world. Like, so we probably started off that we were probably drawing too many games, probably away from home at the start. But I think we ended up winning the league by 22, 23 points. So it wasn't a bad season after.
I think what surprised a lot of fans, I know, from talking to people, was your ability to get goals as well. I think you nearly turned out to be one of our top scorers at one stage. You were getting so many from headers, last minute equaliser winners, that kind of stuff as well.
Yeah, I suppose it's probably something that's always kind of been in my game, from set pieces and stuff. And I don't know, I was growing up, you would hard to believe, but I actually used to play up front or on the wing growing up in Innishvilla back in the day.
Up to what age?
14, I'd say. 15, I'd say. So I was always a bit of a goal scorer, but I think you just find yourself in the right position at the right time. But yeah, last year, look, I probably could have had 10. You know, I had a few offside ones, keepers made unreal saves and stuff. But yeah, I've always kind of found myself try to get some goals and stuff. Because look, set pieces is a massive thing now in football. Like, but I think last year, to be honest, our main thing was to not be conceding from set pieces. And I think we only conceded one, but.
It is becoming such a big thing now, isn't it? The analysis around set pieces in general, and you know, clubs are trying to use it to their advantage all around the world. It's constantly being talked about on the media.
Yeah, definitely. Look, as you said, nowadays it's the winning and losing of a game. You know, because there might be nothing in it until the set piece comes in and you're winning 1-0 or something. Which happened a few times last year for us. I think. Up in Longford, I think we scored 4 set pieces and won the game, you know. But yeah, it's massive, but I think you need to be set up defensively too, because if you're they're a killer to concede against. But yeah, they're massive again. And I think, look, as well, Greg will only be given out now if I don't mention him for deliveries and stuff, but you always need fellas who can deliver a ball, and I think we had that last year between Greg, Evan and Jack, like, so I think that's the most important thing, really.
You mentioned that you won by, you know, a clear distance in the end, but that feeling in UCD, you know, must have been great too. Was that your first kind of medal trophy kind of in
I suppose
in
probably
football, in senior football?
Yeah, first thing that meant anything to me, really.
Yeah.
But I think, look, that night, just with all the fans and storming the pitch after, was pure like pinch me moment. But yeah, as you said, like, I've been at this now since I was 15, so 9 years. It was probably the only moment where I thought successful, like, you know. So yeah, that was definitely one I look back on now in a few years and definitely
Does it give you a taste of more?
Yeah, 100%. Look, I think the club's on the up, and I think hopefully that's the end of the first division for this club. It's going to be a very competitive Premier Division, you know. So whereas last year, I think we were expected to win all games. I think you're going to be fighting tooth and nail for every point you get this year. So hopefully, look, I'd love to win a few more trophies at this club, and hopefully that's down the line.
And like going into the season now, we mentioned, you know, Cian and Brad, they're obviously gone. So it's like starting again for you, really, in many ways. Is it, like, in terms of the back line now, you're going to have to kind of get familiar with new people?
Yeah, definitely. Look, I think that's football now. There's a lot of changes every year.
Yeah.
And yeah, as you said, we're basically starting from scratch again. But look, there's new lads coming in and they're there to prove a point as well. So I think, look, that'll be no problem. You've 6 weeks to, I suppose, get to know each other and be familiar with their games and stuff. So yeah, we've another 4 weeks to get set for the 14th February. And
that kind of started the evolution of I suppose what we have now is the Premier team. With Shawnee and Rory coming in the middle of the summer, that was kind of nearly the start of this transition period, wasn't it? In many ways, you could see the team was starting to change. Yeah, definitely. I think and getting Sean Murray in as well, the 3 lads, like signing I suppose signing long-term deals, it kind of helped us, and I think it got, look, Shawnee and Keats, Shawnee's won it all, you've Greg Baldwin there's won it all. That's as well, you know, so you've got a mixture between youth and experience this year. Obviously got the likes of Cottle, Malik and stuff that probably younger lads, but bags of ability. So I think that's the mix we're going with this year.
youthful, and then you have your experienced fellas too.
There's a couple of lads after coming in from abroad as well. One or two loan signings. A new keeper from Holland.
Yeah, no, he's looking very sharp now, to be fair.
Yeah.
But look, these lads come in, people could have their doubts about loan signings, but at the same time, they're here to prove a point and trying to make a name for themselves as well. So that's always good.
They are, in many ways, a lot of times they're in a similar boat to you were a couple of years back. Maybe at that period, leaving Preston, you're out to make a point now.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
they're hungry.
Yeah, definitely. And look, I think you can even see it that they're training well and stuff, and that's pushing fellas. And you've competition for places, which it's always healthy for the squad. So yeah, definitely. Look, these lads are here to make an impression, and I think a few city fans will like them definitely.
And player of the year at the club, like that must have been like first season, and to get the player of the year, and to get the PFI player of the year, like that, like they're great achievements.
Yeah, as I said, I think look, it's probably something I look back on down the line and what a unreal year it was. But I thought coming in was just get the club back into the Premier Division, and that was the main goal, I suppose. But individual awards really are. They're not something I wouldn't set out to be winning or anything. But look, it was just the icing on the cake really for an unreal season. Yeah.
Is the goal to compete or to stay up? Like, what in your minds? What's the talk around the dressing room like?
Well, yeah. Look, definitely to stay up. Like, the club's probably been in a bit of a roller coaster for the last 4 or 5 years, really, being up, down, and stuff. But you look at the likes of Shelbourne, who did the same in 2019. They won the first division, went up, got relegated, and won it again. And obviously got on last 2 or 3 years. They got Europe last year and then ended up winning the league. So I don't think it's a year thing that you just think you're going to go up and win the league. Obviously, look, we're realistic as well. Like you Shamrock Rovers, we're after getting 5 million and stuff. So they're obviously going to invest heavily and stuff. But yeah, for us, I think it's just, look, stay up. This club belongs in the Premier Division, and look, that's what we're going to set out to do.
And the quality of the division, in many ways, that must be exciting because there's been so much focus on the league. Only today I'm hearing that there's a new deal with television. That there's a match every week now, supposedly on Virgin. With Shamrock Rovers doing so well in Europe, everyone's talking about them, even in UK media. Like it must be a bit of a buzz for you as well.
Yeah, definitely. Look, it's fantastic for the league, first of all. But I think the crowds and stuff are growing, and even the last game of the season against Wexford, the Cross was bouncing again, and I think every game this year in the Cross is going to be packed, especially the first game of the season. But which as players, look, that's what we want, we want sellouts and stuff. So yeah, we're really looking forward to now, and hopefully the league's going to keep growing and growing.
You haven't played a match yet, but you have a couple of friendlies kind of coming up over the next couple of weeks that'll start bedding you in and kind of getting a feel for how things are going to work out, I'd imagine.
Yeah, look, I suppose pre-season's a bit of a weird situation, really. You're trying to get fit and stuff, but most importantly, you're trying to get through it without any niggles and injuries and stuff. But yeah, I think Bows now tomorrow, and we are treaty on Saturday, so I think we're playing kind of half and half. But yeah, look, we're all games is what you want to be playing. You can do as much training as you want, but until you get into a game, that's when you get your proper blowout and see what level of fitness you're in.
You have the new kit on, the new training kit on. How you finding the new Rebel Army gear? It's
nice, in fairness, yeah. I probably was one of the first players to see the new jerseys. Me and Keats were modelling. I don't know who picked that, but
new career maybe after the football's over.
You never know. Maybe for him, not for me. But just nice gear, in fairness.
Yeah.
The jerseys are lovely as well. But yeah, the training gear was very nice. Bit of a change too. I think last few years has always been black, so bit of a change.
Bit of colour.
A bit of colour, yeah. But just lovely gear.
You won't get lost in it anyway.
I know.
The luminous colour coming through in it as well.
Yeah, no, it's decent, very good. No, to be fair, we're all happy enough with it.
And you notice now, being around the place now, after a great season with City, just see any kids coming up to you now, and if you're out and about, kind of in shopping centres or anything like that, has that happened yet?
That has. I think definitely when we're in around the Mardyke and stuff.
Yeah.
When you're wearing the gear, right, you'd have the kids and you'd have old fellas coming up to you as well.
Chatting away.
Yeah. look, it was all right last year. We were winning, but there was a few days inside that marathon we were getting slated after bad performances. So that look, it swings and roundabouts really. But
take the good with the bad, I suppose.
Exactly. Look, well, once you're winning games, you won't get the bad stuff. But I think the club is, you'd see more kids and stuff going around in Cork City jerseys and stuff, which is, look, it's a good thing.
And what about yourself then? Do you kind of go on social and stuff? Do you read what people say? Because that can be probably as a player tricky as well, I'd imagine.
No, I stay away from it. I don't read the papers or anything. No.
Yeah.
Just look, I'm honest enough with myself. I know if I'm doing well or if I'm not doing well, so I don't be reading.
You don't want to get sucked into it.
Exactly, yeah. I think you just stay away from it. You're better off.
I'd imagine it can be kind of toxic for players at times as well, though. Like, to be, if you're having a bad run, that'll make it worse for you in many ways. Like, you've probably seen fellas in the dressing room with you over the years where they're probably getting grief online and it's getting to them.
Yeah, no, definitely. Look, everyone has their opinion, but I think, like, the most important thing is the people in the dressing room, people in the club opinion of you. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't be reading what some Johnny says about me or whatever. But I think, look, you're better off staying away from, especially the young lads. Like, if they're, as you say, going through a tough patch, the last thing they need to be is reading for the slaying them online. Yeah.
What players are you looking forward to facing, or maybe not looking forward to facing?
Look, I won't be naming names, but look, it'll be tough compared to last year, really. Look, as I said, like, we're probably not going to have as much ball as last year and stuff, so we're going to be defending a lot. But I think it's just... it's something I'm looking forward to, testing yourself against the best in the league and stuff. So,
and playing in the bigger grounds as well probably is another thing that you probably haven't done, especially this is your first time in the Premier Division, is it?
Yeah.
So that'll be a new experience being like Satala and Daly Mount and the Brandywell and stuff like that. Like, it'll be kind of bigger.
I know, 100%. You'll have 4,000 or 5,000 at every game really this year, whereas last year you'd be going away and there could only be less than 1,000 and stuff, So, but I think as players, that's better for us, I think, when you're in a better atmosphere and it's bouncing. I think players bounce off that and there's a bit of a buzz. So, I'm really looking forward to it.
No, I know the fans. I think we got the most questions ever for you. So I'm going to go through a few of them. Hopefully there's not too many tricky.
Keep up my buddies, all my buddies' questions anyway there.
No. Who's the best centre-half you have played with in your career?
Look, I'll have to give it to him, Coleman. I'd hate to say it to him, but far,
so you
Coleman.
give it to Keane. Yeah. Was there any guys at underage that were any good or anything like that stand out in your mind?
I think Josh Earl I would have played left back, or he would have played centre half. He would have played left back. He's playing at Barnes, at the moment. He played a good bit for Preston's first team. But he was the same. He's about 6'4", massive. He was that at 16, 17.
Whoa. Yeah.
So he's definitely another one. Yeah.
What was your favourite game that you played for City so far? Comes from Thomas.
I'm going to say the UCD game when we won the league that night. I think it was just when everyone got onto the pitch and stuff. It was special, So.
And Donica actually asked the same. What's your favourite moment in the City shirt? So it's the same one. This is a funny old one. What barber do you go to? Are they any good?
Oh, do you know what? I'll give him a shout out. One of the lads from Innishvilla cuts me hair, Aaron White is his name. Does it from his gaff. I've been going to him for the last 4 years, so there you go.
So he's the man.
He's the man, and that's.
So if you're down in the Shannon way, you have to call to him.
Yeah.
But So who's your favourite player of all time? Someone that you looked up to, like who?
Jeez, that's a tough one. No. I suppose the obvious answer is Roy Keane, really. Being from Cork and stuff. But I was a bit young to remember his playing days. Like, growing up, Gerrard. I used to love Gerrard growing up. Yeah, just he was quality, hard man. Yeah, definitely.
So he would have been. And who's the best player you ever played against?
Against Tyrese Campbell. He was at Stoke. We played him in the FAU Cup quarter final. He's at Sheffield United now. Unbelievable. Yeah. Levels at, I was 16, I'd say. He was maybe 17, 18. He was levels above everyone.
Really good. Yeah. And it's hard to remember all the different people over the years. But
It is.
Is there ever a time then you're sitting down at home watching the TV and you said, I played with that guy, or I marked that guy before, or whatever.
Yeah.
Does that ever happen?
Yeah, do you know what actually happened the other day? Aidan McGeady he was doing one of the Scottish games, and he was at Preston when I was there. He was on loan from Everton, and he was the best I've ever seen. Player training, everything. He was just unbelievable.
His ability on the ball, I'd say, was phenomenal. I'd say, was it?
He was
natural talent.
Yeah, he was so he was probably in his early 30s, I say at the time, but he was so quick, and he was the best ever. And he actually had some 6-7 months at Preston at the time. He nearly 10 goals or something, and he ended up going to Sunderland with Simon Grayson after. But he was definitely one that I'll always remember. That it was levels above anyone I've ever played with.
You know, like when you think back to your time at Preston as well, like there must be a massive club. Like people often underestimate the size of these championship clubs as well. But like they've been in the championship as long as I can remember. Right? They've always kind of been competing for the playoffs and stuff like that. But the setup must be decent there, I'd say, is it?
Yeah, it is. To be fair, no, they've the best of facilities. They got a new training ground as well, only in the last few years. But yeah, it is a massive club. I think like when I first went there, I think they missed out in the playoffs by a point or something on the last day. But they've always been knocking around. They haven't gone into the playoffs in years. But as you said, look, they're never near the bottom half of the table either. But it's a tough jump to get into that playoffs and end up in the Premier League. But they're always hanging in around there. Yeah.
Would you still keep an eye out for their results, even though?
I would actually. To be fair, I would. There's probably not many fellas that I was playing with that are still there, but I think since Brownie's left, to be honest, I haven't really been looking at it. But yeah, like
another guy that went to Sunderland, so there must be a kind of a road there from Preston to Sunderland.
But yeah, I suppose he was captain. He was very good to me, to be fair. When I moved over to start, so.
But he looked after you.
He did. He was very sound. To be fair, Greg Cunningham, another one, was at Galway.
Yeah.
They were very good now, and Darrell Horgan and stuff. So
I'm sure Darrell Horgan was at City as well.
To be fair, I was only 15, 16 at the time, so they were looking after me. Yeah.
And do you feel that you have that responsibility with some of the younger lads now? Being you kind of been there, had experience across the water even, but with say some of the 15, like so David Ford, Cahill, those lads coming into the first team. Do you talk to them a bit as well? And
I would definitely look. I'm always welcoming them in and stuff.
Yeah.
Having a bit of crack with them, but to be fair, they're not shy lads at all,
No.
So it makes it easy. But yeah, no, look, definitely. I suppose I'm always onto them about school and stuff and college and stuff, because I didn't have my only my junior cert, but I ended up.
Did you go back?
I did. I have a degree in UCC, economics and geography. So yeah, that was one of the things. I suppose I had an agreement with the mother that I'd definitely go back if it didn't work out.
And how did you manage that? So when you came back, did you do your leaving cert when you came back?
No, I had you do like a BTEC diploma over there as part of your deal you sign or whatever. So I actually went into Stefan Nefa for a year and went into UCC after that. So I was 3 years in UCC then, and so yeah. But look, that's what I've tried to get across. It's only 3 years, and mine was during COVID, so I don't think I was in UCC at all, to be honest. I was up in Galway for one of the years.
Yeah.
John used to be writing a few emails and stuff.
But you managed it.
Yeah, exactly. But I think, look, that's the big one for them. As in, I know some of them.
It's a backup plan as well, though, isn't it?
But a few mothers now wouldn't be happy me saying this, but the leaving cert's not the be all and end all for them. There's always routes to get back into university and stuff, but I tried to tell them. They don't be listening, but
do something.
Yeah, I think it's important, because you never know what's around the corner in this career.
I suppose you don't want to be at the stage where you get an injury in your 20s and the next thing you're wondering what you do next.
Yeah. Look, that can easily happen, So I think it's important to have that background, that you that backup plan, that you have something to fall back on.
I'd imagine you're hoping to fall back on that for a good few years. Yeah.
Hopefully that's well done.
Professional football now for the next at least 10 years.
10
I'd imagine.
years I'd take, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully that's down the line, yeah.
And then after that, maybe revisit or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Once I have in the back pocket, that's the main thing.
What's the goal for the season ahead for you?
Look, I suppose just be playing every week. I suppose I just, same as last year, I think I just felt I was getting better and better every week. So I think just stay injury free and hopefully improve massively.
And hopefully you'll push on. Looking forward to see what happens. Looking forward to seeing you play in the Premier Division for the first time, and hopefully a big season ahead for us.
Hopefully, yeah. Look, time will tell. But yeah, only 4 weeks away, so yeah, we're all buzzing to get going.
So make sure everyone gets down to the cross and supports them against one of your old clubs.
Exactly. I'll probably be booed from the other side. So
looking forward to it. Thanks a million, Charlie, for coming in.
Thanks for having me, lads.
It was interesting there. You'd always find something out about a player. I didn't realise he had gone back to college and stuff, in fairness to him.
Yeah.
Like, that's
interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. These are little things that you don't, that shows as well that there's a kind of resilience there in him. Like, I'm going to work hard, but I'm also going to still play. And,
Exactly, yeah. And it kind of, obviously, any footballer wants to stay as a footballer, but they also sort of have one eye on the outside world and trying to prepare themselves in case they need to get another job.
Back thing, but if you look like over the years, a lot of the best centre backs we had actually went to college. Alan Bennett got his degree.
Yeah.
Sean McLaughlin,
Conor McCarthy.
Conor McCarthy. They all did. They all had their
degrees.
All
scholars, centre half scholars.
They all had professional careers.
True, actually, yeah.
So.
We go into UCC and MTU next week to look for a few defenders.
Centre backs are intelligent. Not saying anything about the forwards. No.
But once they're scoring goals, that's okay.
That's what I mean. The boys are sensible, you see.
They're studying the game at the back.
They're studying the game, so they're used to studying a bit more. But so looking forward to Charlie getting up for more set pieces in there.
Yeah, do you know what? That was a good chat. I really enjoyed listening to that. Even his time at Preston and some other players you'd forget he was with, like Jimmy Corcoran, who was obviously at City as well.
Yeah. And the fact that Brownie looked after him over in Preston, that's kind of good as well, isn't it? Like
it's nice. Yeah,
one Cork fella looks after another, a young fella coming in.
Yeah, and I'd completely forgotten until you said it to me beforehand that obviously Charlie was at Galway as well, which is our first game. Completely forgot about that. So an extra little bit of excitement for that game there on his side, which is good. Great to see.
No, it's
no love lost on Valentine's night there.
Look, he's looking forward to it, and he had the gear on and all that anyway. Like, so he's.
It looked alright, actually, didn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I know he's kind of. I think Dermot said in the podcast we had before Christmas, that he was he was the guy that was in the gear first or something like that.
Yeah,
but I think it sticks in so many people's mind because when he signed the contract, wasn't he in the?
He was. In the I think, to be honest, I'm sure we had Matty Kiernan and Derek Crowley before it, but it was. Charlie's the one that everyone seems to remember it on, like the first sighting, which doesn't matter where people remember it once they see it and they like it, which seems to be the case. And even he was saying there he's seeing a lot of kids in City gear and stuff, which is great. That's what we want to be hearing.
So obviously we're easing ourselves back into it at the moment. We'll have more to talk about in the next couple of weeks, but there's still a couple of events. Obviously when we're recording this, there's going to be a comedy gig, so it's going to be too late by the time
exactly. There's no point promoting that, but that comedy gig is on tonight. I'll be leaving here, going to Bishopstown to get a few bits to bring to the Everyman for that. So, but you can support the club still by the Italian 90, the anniversary gig. Yeah, we've got the two Italian 90 ones. Yeah, one in Dublin on the 14th, Friday the 14th of March, and on the Sunday the 16th of March in the Cork Opera House. Tickets are flying out for that. So, again, slightly before my time, but there are people who want to learn about it or want to relive that, which is, it's the perfect.
And a lot of the players that are involved are heavily involved in media or might have went on to a bit of management, so people would know them.
Yeah, people know the faces anyway. Yeah,
know the faces.
Do you know what? People probably know the stories, to be honest, but it's nice to relive it.
Revisited so much on TV as well that you nearly feel that you were there probably, So it's a good opportunity to kind of, while they're still there, I often think of that, like you see some people there and maybe it's from a generation before that and now there's no one left to tell the stories anymore.
Yeah.
And people bring books out about it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Whereas here's an opportunity to go along and
see it yourself.
See the team and hear it firsthand from them, and might have a couple of videos and pictures and stuff on the nights as well to really take the trip down memory lane. But we work on that now over the next couple of weeks. But tickets for all of those are on rebelarmyevents.com. So if you haven't already, get your tickets for that.
Are tickets on sale for the Galway match?
Not for the match yet. Season tickets are available. The Galway match tickets will be up probably in the next couple of days, so maybe even by the time this is out. But you can keep an eye anyway on ccfc.ie/tickets for that.
Could be a sellout.
It'll be close to it, I'd imagine. I think there'll be a big buzz. Valentine's Day, it's the ideal place to bring your significant other.
There could be a few fellas or a few girls get ditched.
Yeah, or look, they can bring the girlfriend along, bring the boyfriend along, whoever it is, come to Turner's Cross. There's no better place to spend it.
Yeah, or they might find love on the night.
Exactly, yeah. Might fall in love with Cork City, most importantly.
Saying, if anyone was interested in proposing or anything like that, let us know. We'll kind of set it up. We'd like a bit of publicity.
Once we know in advance and we can have cameras ready,
yeah.
we're fine.
We can record the whole thing.
That won't be long sneaking up on us as well. 16th of January today.
Yeah.
Just under a month. I can't wait for it. I can't wait for tomorrow.
So by the time this comes out, it'll be 4 weeks.
About 4 weeks, yeah.
So that won't be long going, and we'll have a, I'm sure once we hit February, it'll be fever pitch.
Yeah, there's already a buzz because, again, I'm seeing the tweets, the comments, the messages coming in. There's a buzz, which is exactly what you want this far out. You want people looking ahead to it, talking about even away games that people want to go to. That's one, actually, the second game of the season, which is Shamrock Rovers away, has been moved to the Sunday. So
because they're still
they're playing in Europe on the Thursday, so that's now taking place on the Sunday in Tallaght Stadium. I think it's a 6 o'clock kickoff.
Oh yeah, okay.
It's either 6. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a 6 o'clock kickoff. That will be confirmed on our social media anyway. So I think it was originally Friday at 8, and now it's a Sunday at 6.
And I said it in kind of passing to Charlie in the interview there, but looks like a new TV deal for the league as well.
Yeah, I was actually reading more about it on Twitter there. It's I don't even know if we can talk about it too much, to be honest, until it's officially announced. But by the looks of things, we'll have a game on TV every week, which is absolutely incredible.
Yeah, profile for the league is what it needs at
this
stage.
I hope people sort of realise how big that actually is and how much of a fantastic news story that is for the league. And yeah, hopefully that'll get a lot more eyeballs on the league, which is exactly what two of us want, everyone at the club wants, every club wants. So yeah, very exciting.
And I know you're looking for volunteers at the moment as well.
We did, we put a call out for that. A couple of bits that we're looking for help with this year. Our academy social media, the boys side and the girls side. If we've any photographers, videographers, writers, people want to write a piece for the website, whatever it is, you can get in touch. There's details on our social media, on our LinkedIn, or even message me on whatever. If you are interested, send an email to myself, ahowie@corkcityfc.ie. And I've had a lot of emails, so
brilliant.
Sifting through them. But if you want to be involved in any capacity, let us know.
Yeah. I suppose when we come back for the next episode, we'll have a couple of friendlies under our belt. We'll have a bit of information on who's playing.
Hopefully a couple of goals to talk about as well. Yeah.
We might have another 1 or 2 signings. So
we'll see.
We'll start becoming more regular as the next couple of weeks come on. Because we'll have more to talk about. Because that was one of the things that we said. There was no point being on every week because there wouldn't have been much to talk about.
People will just be listening to us talk about the same thing all the time. While everyone's away.
Having gaps, there's actually stuff to talk about.
Exactly. There's a lot to talk about this week. Yeah. One other thing to promote actually from an overall league point of view is everyone knows about the LOI TV updates and the LOI TV apps. The app has launched, so it's out at the minute. If you're on Android, you can get it on the Google Play Store, and it's coming out on the iOS App Store later this week. I've been informed by the FAI, so
very good.
That's nearly out. We spoke about the pricing before. Yeah, insane. It's very so good. The value is absolutely incredible. So get the app, have a look at it. You might have to buy the pass in the app or on the website, whatever it is. Look into it. Worth every penny. Absolutely, it's worth every penny. And between the app and the TV deal, we're in good shape.
There'll be loads of football. Right up until November, hopefully.
Yeah, keep it going as long as possible. Yeah, hopefully for a cup final.
But hopefully we'll be still there. And we look forward to it. But so thanks a million for listening, and we'll be back with a couple of more guests in the next couple of weeks, and maybe some of our new signings, new faces as well. We'll try and get them in also.